Okay, anytime you do a genetics problem, you're going to need to show all 4 of the steps, okay? The first step that you need to show is you need to give me the key, all right? What letters are you going to use for the dominant and the recessive trait? For example, if a problem says, in birds, brown feathers are dominant to blue feathers, you need to choose a letter where the uppercase looks totally different from the lowercase. So for example, we would pick big B for brown and little b for blue. You want to stay away from letters that look the same with their uppercase and lowercase because that just gets confusing, okay? The second step, you need to show the cross. By that I mean you need to give me the parent genotypes. For example, in a word problem it'll say something like cross a heterozygous brown feathered bird with a blue feathered bird. This step, it's really important that you double check and make sure you have your cross right, because if you mess up on your cross, the entire rest of your problem is wrong. All right, so always double check your cross before you move on. Do I have heterozygous brown? Do I have a blue bird? Okay, third step. Now is where you draw the Punnett square. Okay, Punnett square looks like this. This is parent 1 or P1 and this is parent 2. I like to put parent 1 across the top, big B, little b, and parent 2 down the side, little b, little b. You don't have to do it that way. You can always put parent 2 across the top and parent 1 down the side. Just get in the habit of doing the same thing every time. Then you match up the letters. So the boxes are bordered by 2 little b's. That's what goes in the box. Always put your uppercase letter in front of your lowercase letter. Last but not least, the final step is you need to answer the question. Okay, and your answer is always going to be in the form of a probability. Okay, specifically a percentage. Okay, and your answer is going to be in the Punnett square. So when it says in the problem, what are the chances of getting blue feathered offspring, you'll have to look back at your Punnett square and tell me, all right, there's a 50% chance of blue feathered offspring. Okay, you'll have to circle your final answer. If you wrote down 50% little b, that would be wrong because it asked for chance of blue feathers, and you would be giving me a genotype instead of the phenotype. Your answer always needs to have a number and a label. Okay, so we're going to use those 4 steps every single time we do a genetic. So if we take a look at, I believe it's page 9 in your packet, we're going to write out the 4 steps for every single problem. We did problems 1, 3, and 4 on this page in your packet together as a class. I'm just going to do number 1 with you so that way you can get the general idea. Okay. First, again, you write out your key. In this case, they give you that green is dominant to yellow, and they even gave you the letters to work with. All right. Then they tell us that we're going to cross 2 homozygous green plants. They're nice. They give you the cross. In a word problem, you're going to have to figure it out because they'll tell you homozygous green. Next, we do our Punnett square. Big G across the top and down the side. Match up your letters. This will be one of the easiest problems you ever do. And then, if we look up here, it tells us they want genotypic and phenotypic ratios. So for this problem, you just need to tell me genos and the phenos. Now be careful, you need to know the difference between the two of those. So now we look up at our Punnett square. Genotypes, we have 100% big G. For phenotypes, we have 100% green. Okay, circle that. That's your final answer. Make sure you have a genotype next to genos. Make sure you have a phenotype next to phenos. All right, finish 3 and 4 on page 9 and 10. Then in class, we started to do some word problems. Okay, again, you're going to show the same 4 steps. So, it says, cross a homozygous black guinea pig with a brown one. If it helps you to circle the parents, do so. All right, first step is the key. Remember, when it's underlined, that means that that is the dominant trait. So black is underlined, so our big B is going to be black. Little b is brown. Okay. When we do the cross, it says homozygous black is our first parent. Homozygous means same 2 letters, has to be black, so 2 big B's. Crossed with a brown guinea pig, 2 little b's. Stop yourself here and double check. Do I have homozygous black? Do I have brown before you move on? Then you do your Punnett square. Big B, 2 little b's. You match up your letters. Always make sure the dominant capital allele goes in front of the recessive lowercase. Now we need to read the question, and so that way we can answer it correctly. It says, state the phenotypes and the probability of each for the F1 offspring. The F1 offspring just means the first generation, and the first generation is what is here in your Punnett square. So we look, and they just want phenotypes. So based on that, I have 100% black. Circle that. That's your final answer. You don't need to tell me 100% big B, little b, because that would be a genotype, and they ask for phenotypes. Okay, so you need to do the rest of page 15, and you also need to finish page 16 and 17, and then pages 13 and 14 in your packet. Make sure you're showing all 4 steps: the key, the cross, the Punnett square, and answer the question.